Hello, so excited to be ending up this week. It's going to be a super fun weekend, I should say. My kids have soccer games, and the soccer games are at the same time, so this is going to be a big adventure, right? This week has been an emotional one for me. It was sadly the due date of our first miscarriage, and I've also had to schedule my surgery. I have sadly found a lump on my chest. They think it's non-cancerous. They think it's something called a lipoma. I've had mammograms, ultrasounds. I've seen 3 different doctor teams, but breast cancer runs in my family. Breast cancer in young women runs in my family, so I'm going to have that sucker taken out. So I've made the surgery date. It's going to be October 12th, but in the meantime, I want to play with some makeup. And one of the things that I believe makeup can do for you is it can help you feel confident when there are things in your life that are a little chaotic. Let's be real. Things in our lives have been chaotic for a little while right now, right? So in addition to just life throwing me some curveballs, I haven't necessarily been getting as much sleep as I would like to have had. I mean, my mind's been whirling. I battle anxiety. I'm not ashamed to say it. I feel like several of us probably have lost a little bit of sleep recently. So I do want to let you know my eye cream, this little miracle in a jar. This is on sale through Sunday at minutewithmary.com. It's 25% off along with some other anti-aging skincare items that I have. When we're combating dark circles, one of the first things I'm going to recommend is making sure that we have an eye cream. So this eye cream is going to nourish your under eye skin, help it be more hydrated, help with the dark circles, help with tightening. It's a fantastic item. I have one actually on my nightstand because I want to make sure that I use it every single night, and I use it every single morning. I do frequently actually just keep it next to my toothbrush. So when I wash my face, I put on a little bit of rose water toner. I put that eye cream on. I really do like to let it sit before I do my makeup. I don't necessarily want to be mixing it too awfully much, but I wanted to demonstrate it today for you. You use the littlest amount. I mean, honestly, like that much. It's like smaller than a piece of rice. I don't know if you can totally see it, but less than a piece of rice under each eye. You just kind of pat it in, put it around where your crow's feet are and everything, and you are good to go. But it has caffeine, it has ginseng, it has all these beautiful ingredients that are really going to help make sure that your eyes look youthful, make them look tighter, make them look brighter. It does need daily use, I will tell you that. Anything skincare regime, you do need to use it daily or else you're not going to necessarily be seeing the results. But one of the things when it comes to under eye skin is it's very thin. So a lot of people will go buy cheap concealer, goopy, thick, and they apply it just to kind of help with the dark circles, but it almost looks worse. Has that ever happened to you where you're like, I want to look better, and really I just look worse at this point? So less is more when it comes to your under eyes. You want to have less layers of product there. It's really going to be such a fine skin that you want to use something that is going to cover, conceal, but also help protect. So that's why eye cream is important. Now, when it comes to your face, I do like to use just a little bit of primer. I will caution you to not use a drying, mattifying primer under your eyes. So if your skin is more combination or oily, we'll want to use that primer everywhere but aside from your eyes. So right now I'm just using a regular primer, just my Glorious Touch primer. This one is okay to use under your eyes. I have honestly been able to get away with not wearing primer under my eyes. As long as I've got that eye cream there and I'm using the concealer that I'll be showing you in a moment, I have been fine not using primer at all under my eyes. When it gets really dry, I might use a hydrating primer right there. The more hydration under your eyes, the better your concealer is going to sit. So I like to put on my face primer and then do my eyes. Face primer needs to settle into those fine lines and pores and kind of do its business right there. So that's why I wanted to put that on, as I am going to be putting on a little bit of minimalistic makeup. Do me a favor, put a hashtag Hello Lovely right there in that comment. I see a couple of you are watching right now. Hi, thank you so much. But I can't see who it is, so if you want to say a little hello, it'll make me feel a little less alone right here. So generally when we have darkness in our eyes, it's generally, because there are some exceptions, it's generally not your whole huge under eye here. It's more like this inner corner area. Let me know if that's you. Where do you have the darkness underneath your eyes? For me, you can see it. It's right here, this kind of purpley area. It goes into my inner corner. I do have discoloration on the upper eyelid with freckles and fine lines and stuff. So I do personally bring my concealer up onto my upper eyelid. That is personal choice. So I'm going to show you kind of the basics of it. When you think about the crepiness and the fine lines and the crow's feet of your eyes, those usually happen more here, where you're less likely to have that discoloration. So back in like 2016, 2017, all the rage was to take your concealer and to make a big old triangle. I mean, you also saw me do it. A, I was younger, and B, that's what was in style. So we used to do a big old triangle here and blend that sucker out. And I will say, if you like more of like the super makeup look, a lot of like the Gen Zs are wearing like a lot of makeup. Super full coverage, lots of highlighting and stuff, you'll still do it in that shape. But if you're going for more of a more minimalist look, if you, A, don't have a lot of time and you don't want that full coverage look, B, that's just not your style, okay? C, you just want to look human. This is going to be more your style. You actually want to get a concealer that is the same shade as your foundation. When I'm trying to brighten up my inner eye and I'm wearing more medium to fuller coverage foundation, I choose a shade that is quite light, okay? This is 1 to 2 shades lighter than my skin tone. This right here is my skin tone, so this is my foundation shade. This is perfect when I want to cover up pimples or age spots or anything like that, or if I want to have a more natural look when I'm covering up my under eyes. Hi Nicole, how are you? Hey Amelia, thanks for tuning in. So here's what we do, friends. This concealer has vitamins and skincare built inside of it. When you can be getting high quality cosmetics that not only work great, are high quality, cruelty free, naturally based, but also have skincare, that's what we're looking for, okay? Particularly if you are over the age of 35 and you want to be working on that kind of anti-aging preventative care. That's what we're looking for. So very little amount of that concealer. I put it in the areas where I have that discoloration. You can take your little ring finger. You can take a damp blending bud. You can even take, let me show you, one of my favorite tools for concealer is actually a fluffy blending brush like this. Really soft, gentle touch. When you're using the same color concealer that would match your foundation shade, it's going to just make it look like your skin. Nobody's going to be sitting there saying you are wearing concealer, you are wearing makeup. It's just going to look really natural. So I know a lot of people, you don't necessarily want to wear a lot of foundation. Sometimes just a little bit of concealer, as long as it's the right shade, will do it for you. Now I am doing complimentary color matches for 7 more days. My foundation sale is going on. It is primer, concealer, foundation, and a setting product. It gets you your whole shebang for your base face. It's 31% off. I do this like once a year. So if you do need your winter shade, if you do want to try out one of my concealers, whether for your normal face shade, a brighter shade, or even a darker shade for contouring, I can hook you up and give you that color match, help you understand your undertone. So you can see just that little bit that I did. I worked it in with my finger, and I kind of brought it up a little bit on my eyelid. I do see a spot that I want to add a little bit more coverage right there. Okay, so you can just kind of like tap it in where you want. You can once again just use that little ring finger, keep it on in there, blend it out ever so gently. Now if you already have just either the texture of your skin or just due to the maturity of your skin, if your skin here is a bit more crepey, and by crepey I mean like wrinkly, it's just got that kind of crepey texture, you can still use this concealer, just use a little bit. And one of my favorite tips for people with more textured skin, the crepiness, the wrinkles, the texture, is to get a damp blending bud and get some setting spray. Add that setting spray onto your damp blending bud. Make sure that it's already damp. Take it to the sink, wring it out, and then you just take it and you just lightly pounce it. And what this is going to do is it's going to really blend it in beautifully with your skin and kind of press it in with that texture, so that way it doesn't like sit on top, it blends in with it. When you do this method with a damp blending bud, it will pick up a little bit of the product. So if you have a certain amount of coverage, when you use this, it's going to pick a little bit of it up, so you may need to reapply just a smidge, but don't worry about that, okay? If you do have discoloration over here, definitely use that blending bud to help press it in so it doesn't sink into those crow's feet. So this is like a godsend when it comes to working on the under eye skin. Hi Ruth, thank you so much for tuning in, my friend. And for the hashtag hello lovely, hi, thanks for tuning in. Nicole just got her Flawless 4 yesterday. She got to play with them this morning and been loving them. Nicole, remind me, which foundation type did you get? Hi Tamara, how are you? Hey Janine, great to see you. How was the rest of your trip, my friend? Janine got to visit me here in the Ocean State in Rhode Island, and we had a beautiful lunch at one of my favorite spots and one of my favorite beaches here. We've got a lot of beaches, I'll tell you that. But it was so nice to see you in person and to just get to meet your friends, to get to see your husband again. Such a great group. So I hope that your travels to New England were absolutely lovely. Coming to New England, coming to Rhode Island specifically in early September is such a treat. Most of the tourists are gone. The weather is still nice and warm. You don't have massive long lines at the beaches or at the restaurants near the beaches. All right, so you can see, once again, I can just add a smidge more coverage right here. We're going to talk about the physical aspect of those under eye bags, the physical part of it. Concealer will not get rid of the physical aspect, but we can use translucent setting powder to set it, and that helps kind of blur texture. So blur the bags, blur the pores, and that kind of stuff. You do not want to have dewy coverage if texture in physical under eye bags is an issue of yours. You want to make it matte. So we're going to put a little dusting of this concealer there. I am also going to take it and plop a smidge of it onto my little pimple that is still showing. I've got some pretty pronounced age spots. So when you're doing minimal coverage makeup, it doesn't mean that you can't add a little bit of more fuller coverage in certain areas. Just means the majority of your face is going to be minimal coverage. So getting a concealer that is your skin tone and kind of having that in your makeup arsenal is one of my biggest recommendations for you. Even if you're someone who doesn't wear a concealer every single day, we're all going to have those moments where we've got a little bump, a little spot, a scar, a pimple, an age spot, something that we're just not super duper comfortable with. Sometimes it's even just that your skin gets a little blotchy. Having the concealer that is your skin type, your skin tone, game changer. Specifically, if you do want to have a little coverage for your under eyes without it being highlighted, as I was saying. So I'm just taking this damp blending bud. This is a great opportunity to use that soft blending eyeshadow brush even for this kind of coverage, or you can use your finger. But I find for me, just kind of having this damp blending bud gets the job done beautifully. And I'm not being too awfully perfect about making sure that it's perfectly blended out, as I am going in with my light coverage BB cream, but you could blend this out enough that honestly you don't need to have foundation on. You got the pressed powder, Nicole. Yay! I love that. Hi, Anna. How are you? You have a great day planned our weekend. We have soccer for the kids this weekend, and nothing really major. I am going to see a friend of mine who I haven't seen in months for Saturday night, and Janine said it was lovely. We got to spend some time together. We walked on the beach and did a duck boat tour in Boston. The only bummer was that we got a flat tire on our way home. No, but luckily we were only 45 minutes from home, so we made it just fine. What did you do about your flat tire? Oh my gosh, that is such a bummer. All right, so I'm going to take my BB Flawless BB Cream. I've been showcasing frequently my new Liquid Touch foundation. I've also been showcasing my pressed powder foundation. All of these have skincare built inside of them. So once again, when you're putting this makeup on your face, you want to make sure that it's not clogging your pores, that it's naturally based, that it's cruelty-free, that it's good for your skin, and that it has that skincare built inside. There's different reasons for different foundations. Today, as I said, I am going to be wearing just a light coverage BB cream. So this is like a beauty balm. And you can apply it with your fingers. You can apply it with that damp blending bud. You can apply it with a kabuki brush. I mean, the world is your oyster. But for more of a minimal look, I sometimes just use my fingers and I blend it out almost like you would with a moisturizer. Just adds a little bit of color. It kind of tones down. If you're someone like me who maybe gets a little bit of rosy redness to your skin on your face, but not necessarily everywhere, and you want to tone that down, this is perfect for that. This is the most natural of the foundations. It looks like your skin. It has a dewy coverage to it, but if that's not something that you like, you can definitely put a little pressed powder or translucent powder on top to help mattify it. It's super hydrating. So for those of you who have dry skin, those of you who have wrinkles in your skin, this won't settle in it. It's absolutely delightful. This is also my favorite for teenagers. So if you've got a teen in your life, a niece, a daughter, a godchild that wants to start playing with makeup, BB cream is great because it's not super duper thick makeup. You can, if you layer it or use a tool, you can make it more medium coverage. So for teens, they may want to get their skin tone in concealer to help with the acne, and then use a little bit of BB cream to add some of that coverage. So you can still see all of my freckles, all of my natural coloring, but it just kind of toned it down. So now I don't have like a very flushed face and a more natural neck. I am going to go and do a little bit more coverage on that pimple, as when I put on that concealer, I think I blended it away. So let's do that. When you do concealer on top of foundation, it is going to be more pronounced. If you put your concealer for your under eyes on top of your creamy or liquid-based foundation, it's going to pop a little bit more. And if it's underneath, it'll kind of blend a little bit more. So you can kind of see it's not that crazy. This is, once again, a more minimalist a more minimalist overall look. I'm not trying to make my eyes super, super bright. I just wanted me to look a little bit more awake and normal. So I accomplished that with that skin-toned concealer. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of translucent setting powder. What this is going to do is help with the physical texture. So those bags that I was talking about, some pores, things like that, this will really help set the concealer so it won't move around and budge. You definitely just want to take a little light dusting and apply that. It locks it in place so it won't shift into those fine lines. And as I said, it adds a little bit of a matte look to it, so you won't have to worry about the shine from the bags. Anna says, I love Soccer Great Sport. Yay! Awesome, Blake, nor I. Hi, Blake. Are you ready? You let me know. Just been waiting for your cue, my love. Yeah, Blake nor I were soccer players. I played field hockey and volleyball, and Blake was a baseball guy. So we always were like, oh, we don't really want to be soccer people. Like, I know that it can take up your whole weekend. And of course, we have 2 kids. So there's 2 different practices, 2 different games. And what do you know? Our kids want to play soccer. It's just the way that it is, and that's fine. It's actually been quite fun. Blake and I just don't have a clue what's going on. We're like, yay, kick that ball. Well done. Good job, team. But we're quite clueless on the sidelines, I will say. All right, so when you're doing light coverage foundation, if your goal is just to look a little bit more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, add a little bit of confidence, cover up a pimple, or help out with your darkness of your under eyes, but you're not trying to create a blank canvas. You're not trying to go all out, medium or full coverage. You do not have to do blush or bronzer. Okay, you can see my natural flush, the natural kind of coloring and dimension in my skin. It's there. You can do blush and bronzer, but you do not need to. As you move to more medium and fuller coverage, you really kind of become a one-dimensional slate, and you need to add those elements back in. For me, when I do this more light coverage, I still like to do a little bit of blush. I like the way that I look with blush, so we're just going to play around with that for a smidge. Okay, thanks, Blake. I will wrap this up. I will wrap it up, my love. Play with the placement of your blush. Sometimes you can put it right there on the apples of your cheeks, just a nice light touch. You can see I'm holding the brush from way down here. Having a little bit of blush also helps distract from the dark under eyes. If you're adding color and you're drawing attention elsewhere, that's going to help. So you don't want to have to think that it has to be a full out, cover everything, make it look like I have no discoloration. Sometimes a little bit still's going to show through. You are human. Depending upon how little sleep you got last night, it still might show through. So I like to add a little bit of blush, even on my light coverage days, just to once again add a little bit of that to my skin. I like the way that I look with blush. Some people prefer to add a little bit of bronzer. It's just how you roll. It's just your preference. So I'm just taking whatever was on that brush and just kind of blending it and moving it around. Pimple wanted to pick some of that blush up. Oh well, that's life. I'm not worried about it too awfully much. I put a little bit right here on my nose, and then I am going to go in and add a little bit of lip color. Once again, when you're thinking about the darkness of your eyes, you want to bring attention elsewhere. You can cover it up. More of that natural shade will help keep it a little bit more under the radar. And then, where is the lipstick that I wanted? I don't think I've got it, so I think I'm just going to go in with a lip butter. Let's do this one. I'm just going to do a light pink lip butter. It's called Quick Getaway. It's just going to nourish these lips. I have started to get a little chapped lips with the allergies. You can even hear my allergies in my voice. A little pinky, nice and feminine right there. So the lip butter is going to nourish those lips, hydrate it. I love lip butters. You can't go wrong with it. And let's get a little bit of something on these eyes. So once again, when you are trying to have a more natural look, you can play with your eyes. You can do all sorts of things. I like to just make sure that I've got a slight coat of mascara on. That also is going to help brighten those eyes, distract from the darkness of your circles if you got them. I'm going to do some 4D Dramatic Mascara right here. Janine says we were able to get to a service station and Peter put the donut tire on. Today we're getting the tire replaced. Yay! Oh, thanks, Janine. I appreciate that. Yeah, just fun little earrings. Woo! Making a mess over here. When you're doing mascara, please hold your mirror down below your chin and look down. This will help you not get the mascara all over your eyelid. If you're looking straight in like a mirror in the bathroom, you're more likely to get a big old mess on that eyelid just because of how you're placing it. So this mascara, it's great. It just adds a lot of volume and thickness. So if you are someone who wears glasses, you do want to have a volumizing, thickening mascara. This one also will kind of give the look of false eyelashes in regards to the depth and the length that it can do for you. I do love me some false eyelashes. I've been playing around with my magnet ones, which are super fun. But when you're going for more of a minimalistic look, there's nobody saying that you can't have fun with mascara too. I don't know, it just kind of, for me, I love mascara. You can even do a brown mascara to make it a little bit more natural if you like, or you don't need any mascara at all. I love me mascara. Even if I don't have any concealer or BB cream on, it's kind of my jam. So this is kind of my more minimalistic look. I always like to have a little something on my lips just to kind of have that nourishment throughout that day, add a little bit of color. I wanted to conceal those dark under eye circles. We talked about the importance of using an under eye cream, which I do have on sale through Sunday, 25% off, really to help plump and hydrate that skin. I don't want to even say plump. I want to say hydrate. Hydrate that skin, work on the tightening, work on the fine lines, work on the anti-aging and the darkness. Then you can go on, of course, with a little bit of concealer. If you're trying a more minimalistic look, you want to make sure that your concealer around your eyes is actually the same color as your skin tone. That's just going to help it blend in seamlessly. If you're trying to highlight and brighten, you will want to have a much lighter shade. But I will say, if you're going for a more minimal makeup look, I'd err on the side of going on your skin tone. You can use that same concealer to cover blemishes and age spots or anything like that. Blend that out beautifully. Sometimes you can even go without foundation, or if you do want to have a little foundation to tie it all together, I choose my BB Flawless BB Cream. I can do a complimentary color match for you. All of my foundation and concealers and primers, they're bundled up this month at minutewithmary.com. You can go and grab yours now. A whole bunch of different types of foundations. I've been showcasing the uses for them and the types that I like. If you have any questions, now is the time to message me. You got 7 days left to grab these deals. The foundation deal, the skincare deal only goes through Sunday. And I hope that this has been an informative Minute with Mary for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. Yeah, I'm just excited to spend some more time with my kiddos. And I will talk with y'all soon. Take care.